Hello, everybody. Welcome to spring quarter. And this is ENVS 319, Research and Writing, and I am Gigi Berardi. And I actually had basically all the elements of this class put together a few days ago, but it just took me another 2 days to try and make sure that the Canvas elements, the features, were completely in line with the syllabus. So I hope that is the case. However, that's one reason why I ask you not to print the syllabus, but to always refer to it as it changes for purposes of clarity. So I believe that the course is fairly explanatory in Canvas. And this is basically an asynchronous course. So you do not have to be anywhere on Mondays and Wednesdays from 1 to 2:20 in the afternoons in particular. However, there is a live component to the class, and that happens on Fridays from 2 to 3. And that is a Zoom discussion. You'll be receiving an invitation. And I included the descriptor optional in Canvas. So you don't have to be at these meetings, but they are for purposes of material and assignment clarification. So what I want to do is record them and post them in Canvas, which is a secure site. So please look at this syllabus because I have language in the syllabus that explains the security policy. So I will be recording those Friday sessions, and they don't start until April 17th. And again, they are for purposes of clarity, for assignments and for material that's presented. Sometimes we may have a guest, and it seems that that would be a good time to present our guest, who is also there for purposes of clarification. So do look at the syllabus, and you'll read about the description of the course, our goals, the learning outcomes, and other information. But that's important to our learning process. But I can summarize this class in just a few words by noting that we're working on one thing in particular, and that is clarity in writing. Also efficiency in writing too. I think it's a good skill to be able to write quickly, but clearly. And in terms of clarity, we're going to be using conventions of the English language. So you'll see that the course is focused on clarity in writing, which hopefully will be achieved by completing some assignments that I'll be talking about. So this is a WP3 class. It delivers the 3 units credit you need to complete your writing proficiency requirement here at Western. I am actually going to try and share my screen with you. And here we go. So here's the syllabus. And here's the language that I want you to read, and I want you to get in touch with me if you've got some questions. And it just reiterates what I just said about the Zoom meetings. This is what I meant when I said we're going to take a look at the course description, goals, learning outcomes. And besides writing efficiently and effectively, you'll see that another goal is to give you some sense of research approaches in our field. I should say in our fields, because we have a variety of majors represented in this class. We follow student learning outcomes, and they are aligned with the department. And they are to identify and to improve and to develop and to improve again and to heighten and to develop. This actually on the syllabus, this list is a really good example of what I will be working with you on, and that is parallel construction of verb tenses for clarity. And so hopefully you see that this information is just that much clearer because the verb forms are all the same. To identify key research approaches, to improve the clarity and coherence of writing, to develop your editing, to improve your critical and analytical reading skills and heighten your ability to use research references, and to develop your ability to formulate a research question. All right. So then follows the University Writing Proficiency Expectations. So you can read on your own. And as I inferred, this course is online because it is asynchronous. We may have occasional guest lectures, and we will move them to those Friday discussions, which we will record. For those who can't make it, we may participate in a writing workshop with the Writing Center. We're still trying to figure out what their accessibility is. And our text. I've got a lot of information on the text in Canvas for you, and with ideas where you can get it. And if you can get it quickly, you're welcome to review some of the readings for this week. And if you can't, then no worries. It'll take you about a week to get this textbook, The Hacker in Summers. I prefer the 8th edition, and so I use the 8th edition page numbers in the syllabus, but I've also included the 9th edition page numbers too. Other than that, you're on your own if you get a different edition. So I would say aim for the 8th or 9th edition of Hacker in Summers Rules for Writers. Canvas is super duper critical to this program, to this class. So please access it all the time, and I will be monitoring your access. Teachers can do that. And so we've been sharing at Huxley College exactly what we're doing to try and monitor and provide a safety net for students who are having problems with a particular class. So use Canvas, please. You'll need to access it for assignments. And, excuse me, I am back. Okay, and look at the syllabus frequently. Work submissions are in Canvas. I don't care what style you use for your work, but you want to be consistent in your use of a particular style for your references, your bibliographic citations, and your text citations. All right, so these items here refer to university policy and to student services. Please look at them. They're very important, from equal opportunity to plagiarism and academic honesty to accommodation. And also note here that in times of coronavirus isolation, offices may not be staffed. So here is a website, an important gatekeeper website for you. Okay, so the participation in the course, which consists of your contributions to discussions in Canvas, as well as your weekly reading notes and at least one peer review, is 20% of your grade. You've got a cover letter and resume assignment. That is 5% of your grade for cover letter and resume 1, and 5% for cover letter and resume 2. So in this class, we don't have drafts. We do not use the D word, drafts. So everything you submit is fully done, fully fleshed out. And so that's why we call cover letter and resume 1, and the revision of that is cover letter and resume 2. We have essay 1 and essay 2, which is as a result of editing. All right, so more information on this is in Canvas on this particular assignment, which brings us to your major assignment in the class, which is an essay. It's a paper, basically. And you'll get credit for an essay proposal and a draft. Does that really say draft? Oh my gosh. Take that out right now. Draft. See what I mean? Edited right online. And 20% for the edited essay, which we are calling essay 2. See what I mean? Okay, and then 5% for a PowerPoint presentation. So what I'd like you to do is read these assignments to see where there are any questions, but this is the major paper. The essay is just like a paper, and except it needs to have a research question which gets developed according to a blueprint, an overall view of what it is you're going to be talking about. We call that the blueprint in your essay that appears in the first paragraph. So we'll be talking more about that. And your peers will have a chance to edit essay 1, and then you are on your own for editing that essay and handing it in as essay 2 during the final exam period. Should we just save this? Okay. So at the end of the quarter, you'll present your essay in Canvas as a PowerPoint presentation, but everyone will have a chance to comment on it, give you feedback in discussions. So again, this is clearly explained in the assignments. You have 2 short papers, and each of these count 5% towards your grade for a total of 10%. And so these are reviews of literature of 2 scholars, Dr. Mark Neff and Dr. Nabil Kamal, and then a self-assessment. How did you do in this very trying spring quarter with your classes online? So what worked for you and what didn't work for you? This is your chance to talk about the course in this way and your relation to the material, and that is a self-assessment. Here's the grading scheme, and then begins the course outline and timetable. So we begin with week 1, that is this week. And I'll ask for reading notes, which is part of your participation grade, but only on Cresswell since I have that link for you. And then there is also class discussion where you're going to post your writing experience, your research interest. Your assignment in progress is the cover letter and resume. All right, the following week, we're going to look at communicating science, and we'll look at our TAs for the class and research proposals that they themselves have written, and look at expectations for the essay. And as always, we'll have a class discussion as well. So each week, with some exceptions, you can expect reading notes, an assignment which is comprised of your notes on readings and a discussion. And this is clearly outlined for you in the syllabus. Then those optional Friday Zoom discussions start. April 17th. And beginning week 3, we're going to be looking at resources and references, library references. And you'll see this is typical. So you've got reading notes, and then and it's explained in detail in assignments in Canvas, and then the class discussion. But your resume and cover letter 2 is due, and that's because you've received feedback on resume and cover letter 1. Same thing again, week 4, reading notes, class discussion, and a short paper. And all of those 3 assignments are explained in assignments. And there's also examples of most of the assignments in Canvas too. Week 5, same thing, reading notes, class discussion, and an essay proposal. And I will say that almost always the assignments are due Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. So the best way to succeed in the course is not to start working on these assignments at 6 or 7 p.m. on Wednesday, the night that they are due, because it's a lot of assignments. You have the entire assignment you have all the assignments for the entire week. And I could have made separate due dates for the reading notes, for the class discussion, for the essay proposal, separate due dates. But now all of a sudden, we've got all sorts of different due dates each week. And I thought that that might be frustrating and confusing. So rather, everything is due at 11:59 on Wednesday. You may submit earlier than 11:59 on Wednesday night each week. And I really recommend you do that. I recommend that you develop a rhythm of doing the reading notes first, then the discussion, then your course assignment, these larger course assignments. And that you pace yourself in terms of when you want to submit them. I also want to say that JMO, the TA, a graduate student in the program, and I are happy to look at some of your work before you actually hand it in. Gigi, am I on the right track? I didn't know what you meant by clarity here. Is this transition good enough? Is this enough material? Better before it's due than when it's due to find out it wasn't quite the assignment. So we're happy to work with you to try and reduce stress and to make you successful in the class. Week 6, same old, reading notes, class discussion, short paper 2. Week 7 is a little different. There's no reading notes this week. There is a class discussion. And what's due is Essay 1 and your self-assessment. So Essay 1 is a big assignment that you're working towards. You've already done your research proposal and we've given you feedback on it. And then you have Essay 1. All righty, week 8, no reading notes here, but reading notes here. Okay. And a class discussion on editing. And your assignment in progress is your Essay 2, once you've received feedback on Essay 1. So 75% of your grade in the class is supposed to be as a result of editing, not writing, but editing. So let me emphasize that now. 75% of your grade in the class is as a result of editing, not writing. If you don't edit, you won't be able to get a grade for material that you've already submitted that you're working on. So we're going to help you with guidelines for what to edit. We're going to try and get feedback to you as soon as we can, so you've got those guidelines. Then the last week we have presentations of your essays, which is going to be a PowerPoint that you upload. And again, this is explained in assignments in Canvas. And then you'll be making comments on your peers' PowerPoints. You'll upload it again in discussions, in the class discussion, so that everyone can see it, and then everyone can comment and give you good feedback on your presentation. And then Essay 2 is due on the Monday of finals week. So this is an overview of the syllabus with those 2 edits that I'm going to make and upload to Canvas. I do encourage you to look at Canvas. I'm going to stop sharing now. And important is the first assignment, which is the resume and cover letter 1. We call it cover letter and resume 1. There's examples of cover letters and resumes in the example module.